We'll start the meeting at 6:40. And we do have just two people missing, Dusty and Mary, for today. And we shall start then with the minutes that were sent out a couple days ago.
You're also missing Jane.
Oh, and Jane, yes, Jane. Gabriel's is also not here. Thank you. The minutes that were sent out. Did anybody have any additional corrections to those minutes? Okay, so if I could have a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Mary would make the motion and the second from Dina. Okay. Then we'll move down to the treasurer's financial. Oh, all those in favor of receiving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then treasurer's report.
We're in a quiet time, as I said last month. Our biggest expense ongoing right now is payroll, which is every 2 weeks. And I did, show you the 4 items that were paid that were out of the ordinary. One of them is actually funded through the LARAC grant, which was to Patrice for the painting sessions. And I'll talk about the budget and the other item, the appeal letter, when we get to the finance. But I don't know if anybody has any questions on the P&L for October. Were you able to go the lyric with it?
Yes, it was very nice. It wasn't a dinner, but it was a reception. And I was telling everyone that I think there are about 20 awards given, at least, maybe 25. And more than half of them are not there to accept or say anything. So I think it's really great that we do go there. And I brought some pictures along, and Patrice was actually there because there was another grantee that had utilized her services as well. So I think it is, I think it's great that we send somebody, and it's a nice reception that they do. Thank you. So we shall move on then to the director's progress and service report.
I knew I needed the notebook and then I got it.
Did you send that out today?
Yeah, I was getting all ready for the meeting and I happened to see that there was a draft in my email. When I opened it, I'm like, it's the report. So,
do you have a copy for us?
I
pass out to me?
can make copies for you.
Okay.
Does everybody want a copy? Maybe because I can go.
Right.
Oh, did it just come?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't need it. Anybody who wants one.
I'll take one.
Probably should be the ones.
Yeah, I'll take one. Thank you.
Circulation went down a little bit. By what was it, 26. I don't think that's from last year.
September or last year?
From last year.
Yes.
The library wireless seems to stay busy. I think 93 people over the month is is a good number. Interlibrary loan went up. We also registered 7 new patrons. In October, we added 18 adult books, 4 young adult books. We also did a very large reading of children's nonfiction. I've come to realize that really is an area that I don't have to buy books for. There's certain series that I like that are, biographies, points in history that kids are going to take, but we don't have to have, 3 copies of something about Sandra Day O'Connor. So by doing that, we are actually able to shift some books and have all the children that age group in one area. So that's why there were so many 262 children's books.
Can they go to the book sale?
Yes. Mary was actually, there was some, I think a lot of them got taken to Upyanga.
Yeah.
And then, whatever, I don't know how many you actually, you didn't bring back that much, did you?
Oh, the ones from the Halloween,
Mhm.
no. Well, I mean, they would go back.
Yeah. But Mary also kept a bunch here too, so. The events over the in October, we did trivia 2 nights. We actually had it scheduled for the 3rd night, but nobody showed up, which is something I wanted to talk to you about. Coffee hour was it was October 1st, and there were 5 people. No children have been attending the play group, another thing I want to talk about. The Fiverr artists met 4 times, 21 people all told, and the book club, we did Our House, and there were 10 of us. And that's all I have.
Okay, so the things that you want to talk about,
Okay.
did you want?
So the trivia nights have come down. This week we did it with 3 people. And it seems like a lot of work for that number. And they also, when we were here, they kind of come just to support us. So Sarah and I were talking about it. What I would like to do is take some time off, because we're coming into a busy time of year for people between now and then start up again in January. That is what I would like to do. That's what I was planning to do, unless you guys say, no, you have to do it. And yeah.
Frederick's does.
Yeah, it's like that trivia. Yeah, I said that one night, the same night.
I don't know if there were,
I don't know.
would some of those people come if it was on a different night?
Seems like it's a steady group that, from what I'm seeing
Right.
and learning, it's a steady group that comes there.
Hey,
And
what
they
do you,
get a lot of people. They get a good 30+ people there.
so the people that have always come to ours have said that they don't want to go to Frederick's. I don't know about some of the regulars. Life is busy for people.
Right.
And they're probably not going to tell me, oh, well, we've been going to Frederick's.
No, I have to say, I looked to see if I saw it. Recognize anybody.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so.
But I just think that life is busy for people coming into this part of the year. So so understand, I'm not telling you that I don't want to do this anymore because I don't want to do it.
Right.
I love doing trivia. I mean, that's.
Do you think if we did it either once a month instead of every week? Or does anybody have any ideas how?
Another
we
night.
could
Well, I know you
promote
used to do like game night, like maybe Scrabble night one night, or, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe we could.
When Sarah and I have asked, they don't want to do that. They like the trivia night.
Okay.
It was very busy here this summer. You know, we had a lot of people, but this is a slow time of the year. There are a couple of other games that we have played, and I have stuff to do that. But it's a matter of what the people want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to go down to like once a year, once a year. Once a week, that's fine. Once a month. And then with the play groups, there were kids that came this summer and they loved it. We would get sometimes 5, 6 kids every week. There's nobody now. And it's not like if there's any work for us to do, but we're not advertising it anymore. And so my thought is to, once, in the springtime, start it up again. There's no work involved, but
Yeah, I mean. I guess it's, not something, if we're not advertising it, you think we should just take it off the schedule altogether then until the spring?
yes. There are people that yesterday.
People sort of informally just drop in.
Yes.
Their kids.
Yeah.
Who they want to
There was a kid yesterday who came in with his dad came in with him. And they played and they read together, but it wasn't on the scheduled time for the play group. It's not.
Yeah, maybe we can advertise it that we're suspending the play group until next spring. However,
Library's
remember,
always
the
the
library's
brain table is always here.
open for kids and their parents to come anytime, because
Okay.
it's always a place.
Sarah had kind of taken it off of the schedule for the social media, but, so she will update that information. She's working this weekend, so she will definitely get that taken care of. I'm gonna start
And
this
so
over.
when you ask the trivia people, it's funny because I know that there's less people around here, and yet this is the time of year when there's so little to do. It seems like people want to come out and play trivia.
One of the groups of people that come here haven't been here since the beginning of September because the leader of that gang, and she would call it a gang, had double knee replacement. So she's not doing anything. And even though I said to the others, you can still come, they haven't. And that's 6 people.
Okay.
The Warrensburg group.
Yeah.
They're lovely people, but she's not, in fact, she's not even mobile until probably the first week in December. So,
Well, why don't we just do it once a month for like January, February, and March, and maybe you guys kind of decide what week would make the most sense.
okay.
Probably not book club week or
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to do it another night. If Fredericks is going to do Monday, or it doesn't make a
We
difference.
tried that too,
Okay.
and it didn't work out for
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
we,
it seems like Monday nights are the least amount of other things go on Monday
Right.
night, so in a way, I think Monday night.
we used to do the trivia night just in the off season when
Right.
Frederick, when the Lakeside wasn't doing it, we kind of just took it over. So we've always had it on Monday. Then after the Lakeside burned, they moved it to Frederick's and it was on Wednesday night. So that worked out great for us. And then at some point, the guy in charge of the trivia decided he didn't want to do it on Wednesday, so he moved it back to Monday. And then acted like it was, I should change our date. And I'm like, but we've been doing it now for a couple of years. I don't want to change it when we actually talk to the people who attend, and Monday is the best night for that.
And if anybody else can think of any other ways you think we could promote it, or, yeah, I mean, we get information out on, it goes out on social media.
It's in the newsletter, it's in the, it's out on the streets.
It's on the chamber events page.
Yes, okay, so,
Got a sign out there.
It's in the Chronicle.
It's in the
every week.
Chronicle.
do we need to, should we make a motion for that?
I have a question because we used to be closed all day on Monday
Mhm.
until trivia started up. And then you decided that you needed a second person, that you and Sarah would both be here for trivia.
Right.
If you're not gonna do trivia, do you need to be open on Monday night? I don't know, Sarah, do people come in other than?
We
trivia
might get
people?
one person. It's pretty quiet. I get here 4:30 and I might get one person, but no, I don't think so. What do you think, Megan?
I don't think so.
You're almost never, we almost never have
Usually,
someone.
I don't think anything gets checked out that night.
No, it's quiet other than trivia. I sit back here and do grant work and social
Well,
media
that's what I'm saying.
scheduling
It's
and
just a quiet time for you to be working here and then the library's open because then it's hard to get work done when there's a lot going on.
right, it's good for that, but as far as justifying keeping the library open, I don't think it's justified.
You don't have to worry about the cost of fuel oil. She'll turn that furnace right off.
That's right. Hot flash and we keep it cold.
And I think that is definitely a conversation that you guys. But I also don't like to have a schedule that changes. So if we're gonna have trivia one night and be open for that night, then be closed for 3 nights and then open another night. It's just difficult to promote your hours when that's always gonna change.
Maybe
Do
come
we
back with-
promote Monday night as being open on our things?
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
It's We'll mark it on the website, and Google,
It's on the
Google search, or the Google business page, the website.
It's possible that it would be more appropriate just to pause for the rest of November and December and then start up again in January when people are less busy.
That is what I would like.
And then start doing it every week, then go back.
Yes.
Starting the second
Just
week
pause
of
for the
January,
holidays.
because
Yeah, when things settle down a little.
Yeah, well,
The first
And then if we're not getting the numbers January, February, March, that would be a good discussion to say, do we need to just do away with Monday nights or trivia or both? Or
Okay.
you know?
Yeah, that's a good compromise, yeah. And if you we're pausing for the holidays, we really hope to see everyone back.
Yeah.
So that we can, continue.
You're talking to the master back here.
Right.
She knows exactly what she's saying.
Okay.
Holiday pause, that sounds good though, we need that.
And, Sarah had sent out a social media report. If anybody has any questions about that. If not, if I could get a motion to accept the director's report.
I'll make the motion.
I think for the next meeting, I'm going to change, it will become directors with the apostrophe.
Okay.
So it'll be both of our reports would all be together.
All right. Then we shall go down to the committee reports. There's nothing to report for the executive committee. So we'll move down to the financial.
I sent out a proposed 2025 budget. I hope everybody had a chance to look at it. I know some people had some questions. There was a preliminary one where we had a shortfall of $10,000. So we met with Linda, Megan, and Sarah last Friday, and we kind of propped it in. So what got sent out again, dated 15th, was a balanced budget. The items highlighted in the yellow highlighter were items that did get changed. You know, a couple of the big pieces are, we've added a line item for a fundraiser to net $3,000 in order to budget this. So that becomes a conversation. Megan had talked about Eileen Wallace, one of the friends, possibly working on something. So I think, you know, as soon as the new board gets seated, I think it needs to become a conversation about what to do for that $3,000 shortfall. There were a couple smaller items that were adjusted down. The income, that was on the income side. On the expense side, we still haven't been able to find a bookkeeper. Oh, did you find somebody?
Denise Johnson.
She wants to do it? So you want to get paid for it?
I believe so. I said, I don't know how much, but there's something in the budget. But she
Not
didn't.
anymore. We took it
I
out.
know.
Okay,
But
so,
she's done QuickBooks, and
okay,
I told her you would call her. Or someone would call her.
okay, do you have a number?
I
I
can get-
I can get it from the Perry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because her husband, she's done QuickBooks for her husband, he works in an accounting department. He's a board of education for Bolton.
Yeah.
School, really nice, and I don't think she's really, I mean, she manages to do it, great. But I said, we've been looking, you know.
Okay, all right, that's
Yeah.
great, all right, I will give her a call.
Yeah.
You're leaving that fundraiser at $3,000.
Well, I mean, this is a discussion for the board, right?
Mhm.
We have a bigger issue. We are like getting to the top part of what we can budget to run the library and we're running it. For the past several years, we've gone to the town and asked for an additional $5,000. That's basically covered most of our staffing costs and some of our smaller operational costs. So I think once the 2025 board gets seated, I think we need to be a serious discussion about how going forward we fund the library.
On that note, in here was to take the 5,000, put aside for the
Yeah,
259.
Yeah,
It's just, I think even if you're not going to do it, make sure your gatekeepers maybe together 259, because it takes time to get knowledgeable about how that works. It's really important. Took us a while, and your mom was wonderful, helping us to understand exactly how it all worked.
and we had allocated in the 2025 budget, the $5,000 to set aside because we've been talking to different people. They said if you were having to pay legal fees and the only thing that we could do is pay for the legal fees. The other portions of this, the lobbying piece of it can't come out of operating. So we have to do like a friends money supply. We allocated $5,000 this year in the budget and we have that covered. So what I would propose when we accept the budget is to take that $5,000 and hold it in reserve, so at least we got that. Then we can talk about what we're gonna do next year and how exactly we go forward with that, if the board decides that's what we go forward with it. Those were the biggest cuts to what we were proposing spending, was the bookkeeping fee and then the money for the 259. We reduced the book budget by 500. You know, some smaller things just with the DVDs. But basically that kind of brought it into range. So if everybody could just, you know, take a look at this, because we do have to go with it that next week. So if you have any questions, you have questions. If you notice on the bottom portion of it, we did order the computers, the 3 new computers, for $4,100. We will get money from Norwell to cover a portion of that, but we won't get all of it. But we do have some money set aside to cover the difference, so we're good there. And I think Carla's working on the split heating system, and that will come from money that we've gotten from the town for capital improvements. So that'll be covered. I don't know what else we've got going forward. One other thing, the tax return that the library has to do is called a Form 990. That did get filed by Rebecca Hare, our CPA, on Friday. And I don't know, Megan, if you saw, I forwarded it to you again to make sure that you got it on file. So again, many thanks to Becky for doing that, which was great.
Do we have Mary send a,
Thank you.
so,
Yeah. The other thing on the financial was the appeal letter. Many hands make the work light. So group and some board members got together and stuffed and peeled and sealed, and everything's ready to go. And I think I might even drop it off tomorrow just to get it going. But we'll go send it out to be mailed, so it should arrive just before, just after Thanksgiving, by the time for Giving Tuesday. We'll see how it goes.
keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, because at this point, it will be a month earlier than it was last year. And since we did have less money from this last cycle, you know, is this an aberration or is this a trend? So I think this year having it arrive about the same time that the other ones where we've gotten like $24,000, $23,000, if it, you know, winds up generating the same amount of money, then it's just, it just was not available at the right time. If the money goes down, we've got another something to talk about.
Right.
Just one other thing, Christine, I don't know if you've had to deal with, I've worked with her at TD Bank. She's one of the floaters, she's like a supervisor. She comes in and out, but I did finally catch up with her. And our base to qualify for the affinity program where we get the money from TD Bank is 110 participants. We had 109. So I got one person that said they would go and do it, and I would follow up. And Christine will be in and out.
So I just.
It's one.
Well, we had two, but then somebody else signed up. So again, this is, you know, when we get people come in, new people coming in to get a library card, we just ask them if they would mind supporting the library, if they have a checking account, business with TD Bank. We don't ask them to go open it. And it doesn't cost them anything, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah, if you guys have any friend, I mean, like literally I sent a text out to like our volleyball group and said, hey, if anybody's at, you know, TD Bank and doesn't have any charity that they checked off, could you contact them? And we got 3 people.
That allowed us to qualify.
Right,
Yes.
right, so, you know, it could be,
done
it could be people that already
You
have the
did
TD
change.
Bank. I mean, you're not asking them to change their bank or anything. All you're doing is saying, hey, did you check off your box, you know, what charity you wanted to go to? So, you know, it could make literally difference of how many $1,000 did we get?
Well, we got 2,700 last year, we budgeted 1,000, and that was like keeping our fingers crossed, because we didn't know if we were gonna get.
So,
During COVID, we got over $6,000 one year. Yeah, and that was, I think, because everybody wanted to keep their money close, so probably have more savings. and more difference. It's two ways. One is the baseline is the number of participants, so we get $50 per person that has a check. But then it gives us a percentage of what they've got in savings. So if they've got a CD or a savings account, then we get, and that's where the $6,000 came from, because it wasn't from the number of participants, it was from what people had in savings.
Michelle brought it up at the budget meeting, and Sarah and I that we attended, and so Sarah immediately put it back up on Facebook, on these, all the social media, so it is there. If any of you, I mean, I know Carrie goes on Facebook and shares all of the posts we make, but if anybody else who's on Facebook would do the same.
okay,
I think that's all.
thank you. All right, we're on to policies and procedures, the multifactorial. Did we find anything out about?
I believe that Sarah and Chris spoke on Monday, and he did figure out what the problem was. He said there are quirks in the system, and the reason that we can get in without having to authenticate it is because one of us, we're not sure which one, checked to stay logged in. So it's an option you can have. So once we did that, we don't get and you can't uncheck it until, because once the computer reboots, and then we would be able to uncheck, I guess. That's how he explained it.
Yes.
And Sarah can finish the conversation because he told her the best way to do it was to ask for a text to be sent to her with the code, which is what we wanted from the beginning.
Yeah, if we try and log into our work email from home, it triggers the security system to prompt, originally we had talked about using the Authenticator app, but I tried to do that from home once the system was up and running, and it does not work, at least not for me. When I come in here, I can log in, no problem. So one of the things Chris told me, he said, just go into your security account and have the system send you a text on your cell phone, and you can use that. So I've taken the Authenticator app off of my phone, and I had to do it again today when I logged in, and it works just fine. So it's the same system. I still have to use my cell phone and have that with me just like I would with the app, but I can get a text. And he said, that's fine. And
Kind of like when a lot of us sign into.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But are you having to log into both of you logging into this computer to add more security to our computer?
We haven't had to use the authenticator to get into Polaris.
It's not really a protection system, the way Chris explained it to me.
So it's only for you.
It's the slow, if someone were to come in, I said, is the point, our understanding, I said, was that if someone were to break into the library or come in when no one was here and they tried to get on our work computer, could they do it without any security firewalls in place? And he said, that's how it's supposed to work. So I think they're working out some kinks at the Sal's IT level.
Okay.
But he said it's just fine to use another security method, so.
And taking that, I think I had explained to you before that Sarah was not happy about putting that up on her phone. And the only way she finally was resolved to it was when her husband explained something that.
I had to do a forced stop on it. The app requires that you allow the app to have full access to your phone and everything in it. And I
She didn't like that.
no, yeah, I was like, I got passwords, I got my banking account information, and the app for work required access to all of that. Or it could theoretically, if I don't know how to do it, but there's people out there. And Chris did specify that their intention is to protect the system from threats from the other side of the world. And there's almost nothing in the system that's useful or helpful, but you just never know.
Great. All right, then we'll move on to the long range plan. Maybe.
So I did get a couple of some long range plans. I got from the personnel committee and I got from the buildings and grounds. So a lot of things that I haven't gotten from. I did forward that. I shared what I did get with Dusty and Jane for you know what was emailed to me. So we haven't had a chance to get together. Again, we really need more information from the other things just so that we can move forward. That's really it. I mean, I know that we're getting busy. I'm just getting concerned that we're running, I'd like to have something in place to give to somebody, you know, so, if people who are on committees who haven't submitted it, just please, I know it's a busy time of year, but before the December meeting, before it, so that I can try and have something together to present. And it doesn't have to be complicated, just put it down.
Okay. All right, the fundraising, we did get some items in, and I saw that today there was a Instagram post about our bags and decals, which is good.
You guys see them?
They look
Have you seen
great.
them? They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Once the basket's gone, I mean, right now the decals are over there, but it's because the basket's there, but once that's gone, I'll move it back over here. People have commented on how nice it is.
There should be invoice for both phones.
Okay, and did you want to mention what the idea for the fundraiser for next year, or do you not want to go there yet?
I can tell you,
Sure.
I had spoken at one point to Jason Saras, who is a member of the Blue Moon Band. And the band used to perform for the galas that we did, that, you know, did raise a lot of money, but there were many moving parts to it and it got harder and harder to do. And we seemed to raise less money each year. So Jason he and the band would do like a performance in the park. And we would like to try to get some food trucks and maybe a beer truck and just have a party and then just hope no auctions, no silent auctions, just a party in the park and then count on people to make donations. So that's kind of what we're talking about. I had spoken to a friend who uses the library in the summertime. She is she has helped out with a lot of different functions and she got really excited about it. And she went right down to the marina to talk to Jason to see if he was really on board with it. And he said they definitely are. So after the new board is seated, we will talk again, but I don't want too many people on a committee. I feel like it's I'm not saying you can't be on the committee, you can't participate, but it's harder to get everybody together when you have too many people.
So is that separate from the fundraising committee then?
You guys said you weren't the fundraising committee anymore. You said you were branding. Didn't you guys say that?
Oh.
That's the only reason. I wasn't kept trying to separate you guys out, but
I'm just trying to.
no, I wasn't trying to keep anybody off of it, but I also want to make sure that I can raise $3,000 and she wrote it into the budget. So last time I threw an idea out, maybe.
Food
But it
trucks seem
doesn't-
to be very popular. for
She's
different
not saying
things,
that
too.
is the only event that do $3,000.
Yes, she is. She is.
I said,
I mean, we could do other events.
other events, knock yourself out, but just think about, how much energy you want to put into something and how much money is it.
And that's the reason I don't want to put the energy into the gala that we used to do.
Right.
It was months preparing for it. It was tons of volunteers. It was setting it up, and we were very lucky with the people that helped us. A local man is a partner in a tent company, so he got the tent for us. And he would be willing to help us in any way with a project like this. I actually had spoken to him a couple of years ago. and he would help us in any way he could, but I also want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want too many moving parts, makes it just harder to do.
When
And
the
it
food
costs-
trucks come in on their own volition,
Mhm.
we're not financially responsible for anything.
Right. And the
And-
beer truck as well.
Would they also give you
They
like, a
do.
percentage of your profit,
Yes.
right?
They
So,
do.
and could we sell wristbands here? Not sell, but have like red wristbands for a $20 donation or something like that. I mean,
This is going way beyond
right.
any plans I had made.
Yes.
That's definitely something that when, if we have a separate meeting, just to sit down and talk about, different ways to handle it. And that might be a great idea to have just like all of you get together and talk about.
Thoughts.
That was the basic plan.
Okay, good. That sounds great. So we are down to buildings and grounds, which Carla, myself, and Lynn had a meeting today. And, most of those things are still the same. We don't know when they're gonna stripe the parking lot. The grants deferred to spring to do the flowers in the side garden. And we talked about the grants that the grant went to ALA for trying to get the money for the door, so that's done.
It hasn't been done yet, right?
Right, I've got a
She
couple
hasn't said-
corrections to make.
Oh, okay.
So if you caught anything you want to tweak or anything like that, and then I'll submit it tomorrow night.
Yes, it's
Online.
It's 90% done.
Yeah.
But, and we're not in any discussion about moving the flagpole, but we did have one item that we really talked about today is honing down the different proposals that we've gotten for the split system upstairs. And what we did, the best price was from Simon's, but what we realized is 2 weeks ago, Simon's has become Christopher Brothers.
Right.
And I knew this from what we've gotten, that they're redoing all the quotes that they had done because the person who did these is no longer with them. So the guy's gonna come on Monday. I mean, we'd like to propose that we go with this company, but we don't know yet because it's a question mark as to how much more the price is gonna
What
be.
is the price of their quote?
This price was 6,600. But we got several other quotes that were, 8 and 9,000. So, yes. Mhm.
We met today and we talked about what the different proposals, but this one, we can propose that he knows that it has 5 years. Of repair, any repair, maintenance complement, so 5 years, whereas the other one comes to Rome.
That was a 5-year.
The side Simmons has 5 year,
Mhm.
whereas this just has,
Mhm.
he said, well, that's a real plus to have that 5 year.
Right, no, yeah, so.
Complementary maintenance.
Mhm.
So
That's
the other
it.
one just has 1 year labor.
And that one was 8,800. So we are gonna have, this company is gonna meet me here.
Personally?
Yes, on Monday at noon. I just realized you know. So I gotta make sure I'm here before they get here to open up, and they're gonna.
If you want me to be here, I can.
Oh, I had it open.
That's not what I, if you didn't want to, if you didn't have to, I don't know, I didn't know if you were going to be tomorrow.
I will actually this week, then I'm going to Wednesday, so. be okay. And we also have 2 other questions, because some people mentioned whether we should have it installed in the ceiling rather than the sidewall because of the way the roof is shaped.
Well, it
And
would
how
have to be
heat would
installed,
go.
the new wall is really the one that goes up the stairway, but then you have stairway and you have that half wall, so you really have to aim the heat, you would really be shooting it, over the stairway and over the half wall. They do have the shutters that go up and down, but I think it would, we have some in the house, we have some, but we split, but I think it would be better to wing from the top, from the ceiling.
Right, so we want to ask them that question and also what the time frame would be, like how soon they would be able to do it. So hopefully we'll find all that in addition to how close to this quote they will come on Monday. So we're not quite ready to make a recommendation yet.
Have we accounted for the increase in our electric bill?
That's a good question. No, we haven't really had it.
Well,
But we were
we
hoping
were
to,
running the other piece.
oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
were
because
running,
There's some.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I guess
Also,
the,
it's to be more efficient.
yeah,
And that was something else.
yes. And you did have an air conditioner up there?
It's the same thing, as air conditioning.
Or a heater, it's a heater and then AC.
Oh, okay.
But it's not working anymore.
Oh, no, it works,
But
but it's portable, it's like,
It's also, it's a big,
it's a
Big
big
unit,
thing.
and it has to be vented outside for the air parts.
It's, you know, like one of those air conditioners.
It's also, there's only one window, so this big unit is actually right at the top of the stairs. So it's in the way.
Are you proposing to run that all the time or just when you need to? Because what's the, like, how long does it take to get that temperature?
With the new splits?
Yeah.
Oh, you turn it on and it
10 minutes.
pops right on, yeah.
10,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And I
again,
think you would only,
don't have
you would only use the, they usually have a remote, you don't put it on when you go up there.
right, which is the same way they were running. the
Right,
unit,
right.
So I don't think it would be.
Wouldn't be too much to
anything else, yeah.
And it's a.
It's-
It'll be fully covered.
5,000 is being given from the township for a capital improvement to 2020.
Well, actually, we have money in set
From
aside
this
from
past year.
2023 and 2024 that hasn't been spent with capital improvement in the town, so that's where the money's coming.
Okay.
So there's $10,000 right now sitting in the money market held for a capital improvement. This is what I think you were looking to spend it on.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Those are good questions. Okay. Then we'll move on to the book sale. We don't have Mary here, but anything new going on upstairs besides?
We're just playing book.
Amy books and trying to stay warm. You were trying to stay cool, now you're trying to stay warm.
Sidetrack, I was like. It's like, oh, what am I doing? Yeah, nothing, working.
Okay, and grants.
Got a couple of updates. I did hear from Pomeroy this afternoon. It's good news and bad news. It's not a no. They've proposed a rewriting of the plaque. And they want to highlight that the building was constructed in 1904 and that our first librarian was a woman named Etta Ingram. The problem is, here you go, Megan, come on, pass that around, that we need primary sources for both of those, and the library does not have them. Pomeroy's already done a newspaper search. Megan and I were brainstorming this evening. I'll give the town a call tomorrow to see if they maintain any kind of original deeds for building. And then we'll also call Ted Caldwell, the town historian, to see if he's got any documentation. But I searched upstairs in the attic. There are no records from that time frame. I couldn't find any deeds. The only thing we have primary documentation for are the charters. So that's not a problem, but it's not enough for the plaque. But we can request a 30-day extension. So tomorrow when I'm in, I'll formally request the extension to buy us a little bit of time. But I'm not very hopeful that these
They've
things.
been filed.
Yeah,
It's
they
county.
have
Okay, county.
You can go, and if you go to the county clerk's part of the Warren County website,
Okay,
Warren County, New York.gov, and you go to the county clerks, you'll see search documents online.
okay.
And you can put in a name or year, or if you have a book page, that would be really good, but you can look at that. You can
Okay, that's like,
search that way.
would they have the original documentation?
They should.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
What was the other thing? I'm
Sorry, was that,
You're
and
the
was that the first
Official
librarian?
librarian, Etta Ingram. We don't have any records dating back that far upstairs.
But you're looking for a deed.
That's the deed to show that the building was
That seemed to be
constructed.
what they.
That's half of it. But, with any luck, maybe Ted Caldwell will have something. I reached out to the Mirror when I was putting the application back together this summer and they never replied. So maybe I'll try and reach out again to see if, because they've been publishing the Mirror for like 100 years. So if they had any records for the original newspaper showing that, you know, the 1904, hey, the Bolton library just opened, the newspaper account from that date would count as a primary source of documentation, but it has to be a period piece of documentation. It can't be a report 30 years later. And that's the problem. I went through Bill Gates's scrapbook from his grandfather. I went through that thing page by page this summer and between patrons. I couldn't find anything on the library to
There's
document.
no pictures. It's just
I don't understand it either.
surprising.
Yeah,
Paid per salary.
I don't know.
The library.
There was probably maybe a board of trustees would have.
What is it for a board trustees?
Yeah.
But this was charter, yeah.
It was
so
charter, right.
I actually think maybe she was, think she wasn't paid for some reason. And that wasn't my other name.
What is her name?
Etta Ingram, INGRAHAM.
Would you also check with the assessor's office here?
Oh, okay,
Because if they have, they'll have, they might have deed references.
awesome.
I can't guarantee it, but at least then you have a book and page and you can,
Yep.
very easily get it.
That would be awesome. Okay. And that's from the town one, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Terry.
Probably not at that point, and they get their taxes abated, right? So there's got to be information regarding this piece of property. So
There
that
should be an exemption.
Exemption, yes, because we already found that out this year.
The 501c3?
Would that
No,
be
no,
from
no,
the
no,
town
this
or
is just
from
something
the
you
county
have
have that? The town would have that?
Okay.
I know,
Yeah.
I've heard that they've lost records.
Well, I mean, you do.
Yeah.
You just do.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent leads. Thank you. Oh, also, in more grant news, the ALA number 3, as we talked about, I just need to make a couple of editorial tweaks and then that'll be submitted tomorrow as well. We're asking for 20,000 to fund the conversion of the side door and the bathroom door to automatic press button ones. So keep your fingers crossed. It would be our 3rd one in a row if we got it. I submitted the LARAT grant 2024 final report. And then I'm working on the new LARAT grant for 2025. This will be our 3rd year in a row. We're asking for that. It's another program with Patrice, but to do a little enhancement and added value to try and increase our chances of getting the same grant the 3rd year in a row. We've reached out to the Adirondack Audubon Society, and the director of that, John, is going to give a related program during that time period for the whole public, but it'll be related to the northern birds in winter. So we're adding that as an enhancement for the whole program, and we're hoping that gives us an edge because we're asking for the exact same thing 3 years in a row. So
That's great.
yeah,
Teresa's programs are really wonderful.
they're really nice.
She puts so much time and effort into it, and she's a great teacher as well. She can't help me.
And, you know, we've almost got the grant information ready to send to you for the long-term plan.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine, yeah, I appreciate that. No, I know what everyone's doing, I just, I need what you want for the long range, you know.
And so that brings us to personnel committee. So it's already that time of year, I can't believe it, that we should probably do some kind of end of year review. So Lou and I will have to try to get together and see if there's a time we can talk to Megan. And Mary wasn't able to be here tonight, but I do have for her to send a thank you to Becky Herrick. I'll ask her when the last time we've sent anything to Carla. Does anyone else have anyone that we should recognize? Well, that.
Oh,
Yes.
we do it after we. do the
After,
drawings.
okay.
After Dina and I win.
I have one.
Okay. Well, I do know that she sent them out to everyone that helped with Up Beyond that.
Yes.
You know, other than, you know, as board members, so she already is taking care of that. Okay, and So that is the end of the committee reports. Could I have a motion to accept those committee reports, please? So, we'll make that motion. And Terry seconded. All in favor, say aye. Right. That brings us to unfinished business. We talked about the grant already. And cyber security, we still keep going back and forth as we talk about whether we, but we're now, I think, leaning a little bit more toward not getting it. But we did have Megan send and Sarah send out to all the other libraries. Did you say there's 26 libraries in South? 30
something.
30 some.
Yeah.
We've only heard back from 5 so far. And I think the split was 2 and 3.
No, so one no,
1 and 4. One has it. Oh, we have a spreadsheet.
one doesn't have it.
That one doesn't.
But the others, like Clifton Park is definitely one of the bigger libraries.
Okay. So,
Falls has it.
we're still, does anybody have any thoughts that they would like to share about it?
I don't totally understand. I don't know that information we have here is something I would want from public record.
Right.
So I struggle with these facts.
And it does seem like we are feeling that way. So if we feel that way as a group, then I think it's a good time to let Michelle know, because as she's doing the budget, we can avoid that expense for next year if everybody's okay with that. Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Do you think that would need to be, was it?
I would do it. You want to get on the record.
Okay. I can make a motion as a president. I'd like to make a motion to forego cyber insurance in our
For this coming year.
25 budget.
Yeah.
Could I have a second?
Who was the first?
I, me, I'm making my own motion. And Lynn seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Right. I put together a paragraph of information I sent it to Megan and Sarah for
Getting somebody, people are
perhaps
interested
to
in
run
it.
for the board.
I did see that.
And so I'm hoping between putting that out on social media, maybe putting it in the December newsletter, but I think even more than that, those of you who know people in the community that you would like to add to our, people with enthusiasm, time to do things, finance backgrounds, because we do, we do have openings, so we're going to need.
If you talk to Denise, she may. Like Denise Johnson.
Yeah, I was wondering how much time the senior board. She knows.
It's funny because we talked about it even before I talked to anything. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about being on boards or whatever. And she said, not really, it's not.
That's not.
Once a month, really.
Okay.
So those who, you guys who are done, just stay afterwards if you want to talk to me and let me know what you guys decide for next year. And then that brings us down to the trustee requirements. We have 2 hours of training. We still have some people to finish there. Okay, so we got that.
Your name will be off for the next meeting.
Yes. The harassment Mary's working on, but Mary tried to sign in and couldn't sign in for some reason. So we're still working on helping her figure
I
that out.
will get in touch with the town tomorrow, see if there's any changes, see what we're doing.
Okay. So that brings us to the tea library. I saw information on social media about that.
So Sarah and I had talked about it, actually, I think when we first hired her, that was kind of one of the things that she really wanted to do. And I kind of went, I don't like the art, so I'm not doing it. She had brought me around and she sent out letters to 4 state companies.
About 4 or 5, yeah.
And Berkeley sent a box a very large box of package seeds. So Sarah posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and we're really excited. And we were then approached by someone who is from Schenectady, lives in Connecticut now, and she also is a gardening instructor at a SUNY college. And she's up here periodically. Her mother just passed away, and so they have books for us that they're going to be dropping off. She also would like to help us basically with this, and she has a seed cabinet we can to store the packages. And I answered her and said, before I say yes, I need to know how big we're talking, because space is a premium. Well, then when Sarah and I were reading her biography, we're like, wait a minute, this is a big deal. So we have sent her just wow, we were really excited, that you offered to do this with us, and maybe we'd be interested in possibly doing a program for us as well too. We haven't heard back from her yet.
Yes, because I think it would be really important even to let people know what a seed catalog is, and I'm guessing you plant things, and then when
So we did the starter ones.
you take your flower apart and.
So Bertie has given us package seeds, and we divide that into, Sarah got a small, with like the little money envelopes, and you put a number of seeds in them, and she's going to do a little more research over the next couple of weeks. We're not going to start until like February. And then people can borrow them, plant them, and then the goal is that when their plants go to seed, they give us some back.
And that
then we loan them
perpetuates
again.
the-
But you have to start this with package seeds.
So people would probably, including myself, would need to know how to.
We would do that.
Yes, thank you.
And maybe this,
Here's the extra power.
You're talking about being in it, how do you get
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, you bring that.
Carla,
I mean, I didn't plan. I don't know how.
Carla will help us out. And also we will get her maiden name was Guyette.
Right.
We can get in touch with her, maybe that would be part of the program.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not a requirement to using your library card to be able to take out seeds and keep them. If you can, ideally, we'd love to get some seeds back, but it's not a requirement. The idea is to give people free access to seeds so they can plant their own flowers and vegetables.
It appears that I didn't see any vegetable seeds in the box.
Just flowers in that box.
And the woman who sent us a message through Facebook gave us 2 other companies that are giving away seeds. So Sarah's interested.
I wonder how she found out about.
She follows us up. She must follow the library on Facebook because she is originally from Schenectady, and they have a summer place here.
And I posted on our social media about the seed program, and she commented on that and then sent us a message based on that.
All right, communications. Megan, was there anything else in communications?
There is an ongoing discussion with Sal's and the directors about the Schenectady Public Library and how it's going to be handled moving forward. A survey was sent out that asked what our plans were about letting Schenectady County people use the library. My response was that since this is it's a destination in the summertime, and we do have some people that are from Schenectady that summer here, we were going to continue to let them use our library. And then a number of other libraries further north also replied that, they said, we're in the same boat as Megan is. That's what we plan to do. Then that was followed up with an email from Sarah Dallas that said, please check what your policy is. Because if you say you're going to loan to anyone, as long as they have ID, which is basically what our policy is, then you have to follow through on that. You can't just now say, well, we're not going to loan to Schenectady because they left the system.
But didn't they have to have a Bolton or Sal's library card? They can have to get a Bolton card to get books out from us. If
They would.
Schenectady.
But Sal's is also coming up with there's all these different categories of people that use the library, and they're going to have a category that will be Schenectady County patrons. That's in the works because it doesn't actually happen until sometime in December. And there was somebody who came in from Schenectady last week, and they don't know why that they're leaving the system. And they're quite curious as to what's going on with it. Nobody,
Why couldn't they just come here and say, I want a library?
they can.
That's what.
So there would be no treating them differently. They would
That's
just-
basically what
Two
we're gonna have,
different
to- what we
systems,
were, right now, there are patrons of ours who have Schenectady cards and they work, that's what they use. And what I've explained to those people is that when the Schenectady County leaves, then they just come back in and we will give them Bolton cards. That's what we're going
Aren't
to do.
they part of the Mohawk Valley?
Yes.
Yeah, so they've got a Mohawk Valley library.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Schenectady is not an independent thing, it's part of the Mohawk Valley, so like all.
But the card itself is not Mohawk Valley. It is,
Separate.
it is a separate type of card.
Yeah.
It says right on it, it's Schenectady County Public Library. It's the magic of computers. Please don't ask me, but, so the plan is, and what I've explained to those patrons that we do have. After Schenectady leaves, then they just come back in, they get a library card from Bolton, just bring their ID.
Okay, so upcoming events. The first one I want to mention is this kind of Bolton tree lighting. We would like to give away Christmas books, so is there anyone that would be able to be here that day to? It's December 1st.
It's her,
That's what I'm here.
and the calendar says,
I
I
know,
know,
that's
they
what.
were, that I found a whole bunch of them tacked up in the post office today. And I
right,
thought it was a week later too, because it's always been a week later, but now I don't know if it's Thanksgiving. Or they didn't want to, I don't know.
Well, this is what, and it's hanging up in there, but I
right,
didn't know.
I
if it
didn't
was-
look at the date, I just thought.
Yeah, the chamber said the 8th, because that's originally where I got the date from, but this was up in the post office today.
And those went out.
Michelle put them
My
out,
kids got those.
Michelle Pollock put them
And I
out,
went to school.
Michelle Pollock put them out.
That's what they
So
thought.
you're thinking,
They changed.
I must have something my phone in there, I was gonna ask Michelle, but if it's this day, is there anyone that can help that day to give out? You can be there, yeah.
We're not back from California Thanksgiving until the 3rd.
Okay,
So if
so
it's the 8th, yes, I could help.
so we have Linda and Lynn, is anybody else available that day? It looks like it's Sunday, right? Okay.
And if you need me, I can certainly be available. I have my own car.
I'll ask Mary.
What time is it on the first? 1, 2,
Well, not
5,
that she left,
3
but-
to 4 o'clock.
Well, it was time for- That's.
What time do you want to?
Before the puppet show.
So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be right there.
So I see you there.
So 1, 2, 3, I'll try. I'll text you.
All right, very good. All right, we already talked about birthday time, coffee hour, everything's going good with that. We're gonna keep doing that, right?
We all enjoy it. It's, just a nice group of people for the most part.
Is the one man still coming? Is the one man still coming?
Yes,
Oh, is he? Good.
he's lovely.
Good.
So I think it's definitely worth having. It's, even though like this month it was 5, there have been other times when it was more. I think that it's a good, feel as to what maybe we should be doing for, the senior citizens. Because as Sarah said in her, part of the application to the ALA is, what's the median age?
58.
In Bolton.
Yeah. I'm over that, good.
Median, right in the middle. I think once you turn 55, you can get AARP. Please.
The High Peaks Hospice Program is done.
It was a wonderful program. It was, they were so prepared and had handouts and we had 2 people show. They were really lovely people. It was informative. I actually said to them that, the reason I wanted to do that program is because one of the problems is that families don't get in touch with hospice soon enough. And there's so many things they offer. And in fact, in my family, both my older brother and my older sister didn't get in touch with hospice on time. So I felt that that was very important. Cannot go and drag the people here. I don't know how else to get them here. We truly have it out there that we're doing these, but it's also not a program that a lot of people want to
Talk about, or think about.
Right, and she said that that is always a problem. We can try again, maybe in the spring, it might be, I think maybe it's dark and it's November, the last thing you want to
go
talk,
out, right?
but also the last thing you want to talk about it. What's your last?
There's free info over there if anyone wants it.
Yes. Paved with the trees, we pretty much talked about that already.
That was so well received, and everybody, we've already actually signed Patrice up to do more. We're scheduled for January, February, March, April, and May. And I don't have the dates right here, but it's the last Thursday of every month.
Yeah, we're doing one.
I think it's the last Thursday of every month.
And that's gonna be with the Audubon?
No, that's for next fall.
Those will be paid, they have to pay their way.
Okay.
Like a cable sip type of thing that they're
Mhm.
coming and doing. Okay. The origami card making.
So Sarah and I are doing a craft project it's for adults, their children can come as well. Being the crafty people that we are, we've decided to do a program. It really is fun, and we have gotten a bunch of supplies in, so we are going to practice before we actually make the presentation. Mary Ciccarelli is going to help us too. I don't know if she's available that day, but she gave us this one where you take a lunch bag and you glue like 10 lunch bags together the long way, and then you make cuts in it, and when you open it makes this amazing star. It's so cool. So we just thought it might be a fun afternoon. Give somebody something else to do.
And so there's some programs coming up, but we're still, I guess, I'm getting dates for the aquatic invasive.
Oh, we have those dates. Hang on, Sarah, it's right on the bulletin board. You wrote it down for me. I think it might be that green Post-it note.
May 1st, aquatic species, aquatic plants, and May 22nd, aquatic animals.
May 1st and May 22nd.
Yes.
Okay, and then we had citizen preparedness for February 20th. Bird window collisions and bird safe solutions. Also in May.
That's John Lewis, who's the president. Actually, he's not the president of the Audubon Society, but he's still, he still does a lot of programming for them. He and I talked about doing this because of the birds that crashed into him. I still think that's a really good program to have, but because he's also doing the fall one, I need to get in touch with him to see if he wants to do this.
Oh, because he's the one that would also have been doing the.
Actually, he is getting a speaker for us for the one in the fall. So I will get in touch with him before May.
Okay. All right, do we have any additional comments?
You have the one in the fall is.
Yeah, give me a minute. Didn't tell me
What are you looking for?
what he was gonna do in the fall. Can you pull
Oh.
yours up?
Yeah, we were talking about winter habits of birds.
And that was related to the painting.
Yes.
Right, the painting will be a photograph studies of 3 winter northeastern species. And so we gave the birds to John, and he's going to, where was it?
You found somebody to talk
Yes.
that they're paying for.
Yeah, it's a free program, and it'll be open to the community. And he's got a speaker who's an expert on winter and boreal birds in upstate northern New York. October 16th. What's that?
Is it Jeff Adler?
He said she, so probably not.
So that means it's probably dead. Okay.
You know, your bird people. But October 16th for that.
we don't have anything else, if I could have a motion to, adjourn the meeting. A motion, and if I could have a second. Tina will second.
I think it would be a good, New Year's resolution that we try, that the board and myself try to get to some of the town board meetings. Especially because everybody asks for more money.
Present is always good.
Always good.
Squeaky wheel gets the, whatever.
December 3rd is the, that's from the new year, right?
Right.
Let me see if I can put that on my calendar to try to go to that.
Do it. If you go, I can go, I'll go too, and you can. kind of,
Give a year end.
You know, they are aware, the other person should talk with Brandon and Renee.
No,
He is our liaison.
They would interview. So you're gonna get ones that have come.
Usually I say the company, but they go into executive session by 7 o'clock. So the meeting usually starts and by 7 we're done.
About a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So is that when you're ready? Okay, because that's what we had.
Meeting?
Yeah, and they're all talking about like trees, and they have an owl model. No, I've never used it. And they're like. On first.
I know I'm not here December.
I
know I'm not here December. Oh, birthday is like rewriting if it is the first. If you find out it's.
I just do it, it's gonna be.
Oh, you have it? Yeah, you want to? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Great, thank you. Uh-huh. I got my library card.
Oh, I'll just pull you up.
Yeah, it's easier to look it up, or you want my card?
Oh, it won't take long. I'll take your card.
I went to John Brown's house.
Uh-huh.
Have people lived there? To help them?
I have not yet. Megan, how do you download the video again?
The minute you close the meeting, when you
Close it.
go end the meeting, when you.
If we don't do this